This hand scanner. High five it. High five. It's a good thing he cut his right hand up.
Oh shit!
Oh, fuck.
Come on! Come on! Come on, open! Let's go! Come on! Come on! Open! Come on! Shit!
Sorry, there's no more space. Maximum occupancy. 1. Let's see what he does. Okay, let's go. Time to go.
Okay, come on, close! Close, you piece of shit, close! Ha! Yes! Fuck you, you plant piece of shit!
Yeah, fuck you, bitch. I don't know why he was walking so fucking slow towards us. If it was trying to kill us, it would have been probably a lot faster. Which means maybe it's really not necessarily trying to kill us, but rather persuade us into moving forward.
The moon's gravity pulls so strangely. It tugs at the tides of the mind. It pulls the planet apart. Do you feel it?
No. The moon's gravity is so weak in comparison to the planet it's orbiting that it's not pulling anything apart. And if I remember correctly, the moons of Mars are like hundreds or thousands of times weaker than like Earth's moon, just due to like, mass. So we're at the bottom of this thing. Ooh. It's like the Claw of Cthulhu. Not to be confused with Call of Cthulhu. Why do I get a bad feeling of some complicated, mechanically involved boss fight? Because I don't feel like that's what I need right now.
My mind opened like a nocturnal flower, aching for the pollinator bat. I felt through nameless eons and inconceivable dimensions to worlds of elder outer eternity. Oh, how rot casts a shadow. A corona surrounds the dark.
Oh, you're so deep. She's so deep. Elder ones, the outer ones, like all sorts of Lovecraftian stuff that I'm not personally very familiar with. I do know people that would have loved hearing it and having something to say about it. It's a shame they're not here. Or maybe they are and just lurking in the silence. Ooh, back to Cyberpunk. My frame rate's not doing very good. Oh my gosh, there we go. 8-headed monster.
Access. Unauthorized access. Security en route. Please await lethal response.
Locked in. What are they keeping here?
I don't know, Cthulhu? Nyarko, whatever. Except the Nyarko I'm familiar with has white hair and is a little anime girl because Japan. Oh shit. This is like the boardroom or whatever. What crazy awesome stuff awaits us here. Oh, before I look at this. No, I'll look at that later. Let's look at this.
New Eden. Orochi is planning on building a city here. A failsafe.
There is no escape. The dream will consume them. They are inevitable.
They're also expendable, so fuck them. I wonder if failsafe is like what Stephen Hawking was trying to get at. because he was of the Mars colonization thing for under the reason of like not putting all our eggs in one basket. If something, let's say a comet, was headed to Earth and wiped out humanity, at least we'd have a colony on Mars. But there's a lot more to that discussion, and I don't want to trigger myself into talking about it. Project Eclipse. Oh yeah? Guess we're gonna need that later. Let's take another, let's look around the rest of this place. Appreciate these servers. Usually you would put them in a server room because they're noisy as fuck.
So the Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. Genesis 3:23.
Yeah, he fucked up. It's like Adam and Eve. You had one rule. Just one. And it was not unreasonable. Like, you had one thing to avoid. And you messed up. Board meeting at 5:20.
Meeting at 5:12? That's oddly specific.
Why would that be oddly specific? That's just...
The CEO of Orochi was here. It makes no sense.
Unearth more. That which cannot be signed.
So we need a 4-digit password. Project Eden? Eden? Let's try it. Eden. Hey!
An emergency failsafe if Project Eclipse is released. If I can lower the shield, I can get out of this room.
I don't want to get out of this room. This place looks awesome. Alright, Eclipse. Status: quarantine. Blast doors active. Magnetic stasis field online. Last update 2063. The fragment has become agitated. The workers are unable to resist its communications. They scratch at the walls, run through the complex, reduced to a wild animalistic frenzy. I was able to close the chamber and enact the highest protocols, but I can hear the echoes ring in my ears. I see the crew of the Serrano. I've never seen them before, but I know who they are with all my being, and they stare through the cracked helmets, the filth reaching out towards me. I can't stay here. And I think it was the Serrano that was that photo, right? Where people were like falling out of the ship in orbit. Eclipse husband shuddered. I've activated the proper protocols. I doubt they will be enough. Doors will automatically unlock in the event that subject of Project Eclipse is released. Oh. Some kind of Cthulhu Nemesis program.
Once it is broken, the rush is upon you. You don't get to be the same person after they get in.
I don't want to be the same person. Project Symmetry. The numbing agent used in Project Eclipse to keep the fragment under control is created from the strange metal powering the machine in the alien ruins. Since the active mechanism for sedation is poorly understood, we have taken the precaution of stockpiling a large amount of the metal on board the Invictus. In the event of an emergency, the Invictus can be launched. A self-guided rocket has been attached to the payload. It can be triggered with a code phrase once the Invictus safely clears the atmosphere. Communications specialist Delapore was tasked with loading the payload and setting up the detonation trigger. Due to the sensitivity of the operation and his location at the offsite communication dish, he is considered the operative with the most chance of success in case of a catastrophic event. He alone knows the trigger word and will use it at his discretion. So I'm guessing the fragment is something that they found and are containing and trying to maybe control or something. Father, the Serrano has crashed. Something happened. An EMP? We could not analyze it in time. The filth has reacted violently and unpredictably, spreading like a cancer across the entire base. The Dreamer fragment has sent the workers into a panic, searching for a way to escape. The security system has been triggered. The entire base has been compromised. I've shut down Project Eclipse. An emergency kill signal has been sent to shut down communication via Angelus. We will leave no trace. Semper Salus. Control. Serrano location report. Fascinating. The Immortal Engine. Oh, this better not be some perpetual energy thing. Don't you dare get me triggered, Father. As you know, we owe a great debt to the... Okay, so I think these notes are from the main character's mother to her father, who I think is the CEO of this whole thing. That's why I keep saying father. At least in my head, it makes sense. As you know, we owe a great debt to the work of Dr. Cynthia Newhart. Oh. Well, never mind then. Cynthia was the mother. Unless she's talking to herself in third person or a clone? This site was chosen based on her later work. Notes and research kept under the strictest clearance. While her exhaustive library of equations and scrawled symbology has been daunting, our analysis still continues to see results, most recently in the acquisition of 2 recent items. You are already aware of the fragment of a Dreamer, which we recovered. Research continues into the significance of this fragment and how it tries to communicate. Using the magnetic energy signatures first recorded by Amundsen's expedition to Antarctica. Oh. So they found something on Antarctica. Oh, we were able to triangulate the location within kilometers. Though excavation of Site 9, the team is excited to announce that we have uncovered an actual Gaia engine on Mars. Further exploration in the chamber containing the engine has been halted, and we defer to your judgment. We await your determination. See, because that was one of the things early on that I was confused about, was it looked as if they were filming from Mars, a cover-up type thing, trying to claim they were in Antarctica, but it looks like Antarctica is specifically related to something here that they uncovered, or at least discovered. Just not sure of the details and how it completely connects. Intercepted authorization video transmission. Got pounded, muffling, talking. This is Trevor Graham, commander of the Serrano. An EMP fried our systems, and we are currently hurling towards Mars at approximately 50 meters per second. Fuck protocol, fuck Orochi. It was... Hey, welcome back. It wasn't hours after they sent us the coordinates, and I could see it in everyone's eyes. Dr. Baduri drew the short straw, and when the heat shield controls malfunctioned. We're not equipped for a mission like this. Command knew it. It's a fucking support crew, but we follow procedures. After 20 minutes, he stopped responding to comms. We tried to reel him in, but his face, when he turned, his entire mask was covered in blackness, just a spider webbing of black oil across the entire thing and leaking out into the void. It cracked straight through the fucking helmet. Constanza grabbed his arm, and that shit, it crawled up her suit, wrapped around, squeezed her tight little body inside itself. Sorry. I decided to make this my own fantasy here, but pounding increases. That pounding, the airlock. I couldn't let them back in. The infection just being near it made my temples seethe. They're all infected. Doesn't matter though. Oh, so he shot them out of the airlock because they were infected. The fucking hatch won't close. Anytime now we're gonna bust apart and rain down in pieces on the Martian desert. Pieces and Pierce and Bogil are lucky they're still asleep in their pots. Won't feel a thing. I'm taking it down with me, all of it. This is the Serrano. This is the Serrano 1, about to enter the Martian atmosphere on a secret mission to help stake a claim. They don't care about the lives they lose to do it. You hear me, Orochi? The whole world's gonna see this thing. The whole fucking world will know. No, they won't. Ooh, you got the subway.
I'm getting out of here. I wonder if those consoles have anything to do with Project Eclipse.
Project Eclipse. All up ins. What subway did you get? What kind of sub? Okay, we got stuff. Oh. Communication with the dreamer requires a sensory deprived environment, even for you. Use these settings. Oh, I love it when a puzzle gives me the actual answers right next to it. That's like, thank you. So we need lighting 20 and then sound and numbing 100. Now I just have to figure out how to operate this thing, and we're in business. Sound. Soundscape 10%. Soundscape 21%. Oh, wait. Use last. Okay. Can I access anything else here? Oh, okay. Up and down brings me to... Oh. I see how this works. The controls are just really weird. Alright, so we got way too much soundscape going. Oh, but wait, oh, this is so weird. I have a mouse. Who designed this interface? So we have 1 through 5. We started at a base 20, so we need probably like 40 times. Is this a multiplier or? Wait a minute, this is adjusting the other values as well, and I can see the 4 on there is the only thing we can read, so we have to readjust that later. I'm gonna assume I need to flip this, flip this, flip this, flip this, and this. Or is it the other way around? Hold on. I don't know. Numbing agent, at least at 100%. Oh. Hey, look at that. Hey, look at this. I did it. I did it.
What the hell is that thing?
Maybe it's the heart of Cthulhu. All chained up. We should let him go. Guessing that's the fragment that they found, or the dreamer that they reference. Because I don't know what the dreamer is, but I'm starting to think like Cthulhu is like just always like in like this permanent sleep thing, so maybe it's like a reference to that. Got another console here. Wait a minute. What was the 512? I'm pretty sure it's that. I just don't want to explain why. So we got those, and that's it. That thing is still dormant. start. What does it say? Hold on. And enter the activation code. Warning: employee should evacuate upon phase 2 initialization. Emergency unlock protocol will take effect immediately. Yeah, this is gonna go bad. Hey, it works. Something's happening.
Brilliance. Yes. Let it connect.
All hail Cthulhu. Oh. Was I supposed to be running away? Oh shit. I mean, it did say to evacuate. Oh, no, we're good. No, we're not. Something's happening, no?
Our family therapist's office. I can still smell the musty leather sofa in the corner. My parents took me here when I started having night terrors.
Pussy.
I understand that some might consider my behavior obsessive. Yes. We may not agree on the finer points, but I can't let it go on any longer.
Who's talking?
Not like this. My father. He always used to say, Cynthia, your brain has its own mouth, and all it does is devour books. I was insatiable. I learned to see data where no one had ever thought to look. But I never thought it would consume me, strip me of my accolades, that it would affect my son.
That's us.
I can't keep doing this.
Do it.
That second mouth in my head, it just keeps eating. It will never stop. I know how that sounds.
Well, just feed it. If it's hungry, then just keep feeding it. Pursuit for knowledge is insatiable. And that's a dildo. And that's a book. Any questions? Get around. Got a bunch of old people around Earth because Earth is not flat. Engineering dimensions.
Mom's seminal work. The one that solidified her reputation and reinvented the field of quantum engineering. The ability to harness dimensional shifts, equations to predict fluctuations in time. Not just on the subatomic level. She was a genius. Feels like so long ago.
Remember early in the game when we were looking on all the books and I was making a count because it was a whole stack of this, but we only saw it from the spine or whatever the side thing is. She's the author. His mom wrote that book on engineering dimensions. I want to read that. With her breakout book, Engineering Dimensions, celebrated theoretical mathematician Dr. Cynthia Newhart completely changed the postgraduate study of mathematics. This beautiful new edition of Engineering Dimensions has been formatted for teaching and features a new foreword from the author, chapter discussion questions, and an extended index for easy referencing. Scan barcode here. You know, for Engineering Dimensions and being groundbreaking, it sure looks like a pretty thin textbook. How do I flip it? Like this? Oh, damn. Okay, so we can't even look through it. I was hoping to, at least we get to see a few pages or something. I'm curious as to what the contents would look like. That would be cool. Alright, time to see what Mama's browsing history looks like. What has she been up to? Week 1. Oh, this is the psychiatrist's notebook. New patient, Shane Newhart, 7-year-old male with mother Cynthia, reporting night terrors with complex hallucinations. He claims to remember every detail. Mother encouraged him to describe the terror, and so he did. It is made of vines, tendrils, and teeth. He emphasized the teeth with human hands and face. The vines emerge from every shadow and fill the room, twining upon themselves, eventually crushing him to the bed. All the space that remains is a small dark tunnel through which the creature stares at him from across the room. He can see it through his eyelids, and his face inches closer minute by minute, but his mom always wakes him up before the teeth. So wait, are we talking like hypnosis? S became extremely distraught, and the rest of the session was spent consoling him. For any chance to develop a rapport with him, I'll need to see them separately for several sessions. Call C to set up a time next week to discuss home life, school performance, her concerns, etc. Mom uses Mac? No, it's not Mom, it's the psychologist or whatever. Shane's GP ruled out physiological causes for night terrors. Must be related to anxiety, a lot of tension in the new heart house. S may be genetically predisposed. Today he showed me the handheld chess game that he plays during recess. Smart kid, but needs help with his confidence. Meanwhile, Cynthia remains a challenge. She answered my questions about S, but was reluctant to talk about herself, and insisted I wouldn't understand as I encouraged her to give me a chance. She succumbed to a dissociative episode, which we talked about at length once it passed. She called it seeing through the eyes of elsewhere. She will have to revisit this next week. We will have to revisit this next week. I convinced her to see me as a patient. Got how to exit the screen. You know those flat earths that are like double flat earths? Me neither. I'd love to stay here, but nobody likes psychologists. I'm not crazy.
Can anyone tell me how to access the space between dreams?
Yeah, I can. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, we're in a classroom. At like a university. If your professor was writing that on the board, you'd probably be scratching your head. Like, how does one access the space between dreams? Well, let me show you with mathematical proofs. And there's that symbol again, that double moon doodad. Oh, that must have been a hell of a lecture. What I wouldn't pay to be a fly on a wall for a class session like that. Oh, the Tesseract! Okay, so for those of you that don't know, a Tesseract, aka a hypercube, is a 4-dimensional cube. And this is a 2-dimensional perspective of one angle. So if you were to look up like a GIF animation or something on a rotating Tesseract, at some angles it looks as if it's just a cube inside of another cube, but it completely changes shape, kind of like when you think in terms of 3 dimensions, like our body, like my hand, and I was projecting the shadow onto the wall, and then I start rotating my hand. The 2-dimensional perspective just warps in ways. If you only thought in 2 dimensions, you would have no idea what you're looking at in 3 dimensions, because it's missing that dimension, so it just moves and distorts in ways that would be difficult to comprehend. Same idea here, because our brains are thinking in 3 dimensions. To think in 4th dimension is really difficult. And you can just keep adding more dimensions. But yeah, that's like my favorite shape. Just the Tesseract. The hypercube. Oh, I would love to take this class. This would be awesome. I'd be like sitting right here probably. Oh god, I'm dying. I'm dying. Help. What happened? I'm just gonna read this note. Raw.
Excellent try, Gloria. However, while the roads of Agartha do traverse the vastness of time and space, the corridors between dreams are a separate sort of passageway, and the two only intersect in very rare places.
How does one access the space between dreams? The doors of light. I can just click on read. The fabled roads of Agartha are said to be able to take one throughout space and time. Apparently that's wrong. Please see me after class. Wandering in Time by Cynthia. Maybe it's just a big farce for selling her book. I don't know. Hey, there's more notes. Wrong.
That's very cutting edge, Adam. And while the full answer to that is quite complex, that is still incorrect.
Oof. Why don't you just teach them instead? The doors of the universe is not the answer. Wormholes and event horizons offer the possibility to go to impossible places. Yeah, that is wrong. I could see where the student was going with it, but definitely doesn't answer the question that was at. I think I need to stay out of the darkness. Are there more notes? No. Oh, here we go. What was this? Another wrong answer.
What a distinctive answer, Rupert. That is an interesting theological paradox, but it is wrong.
Paradoxes are always fun. The gates of heaven. God holds the key to the doors of the entire universe, and by his grace we are allowed to enter. Wow, that is just, yeah. I have seen God, and it's terrible. Oh, don't tell that to your pastor. Father, I've seen God, and it's terrible. I mean, I guess that's a common theme in the whole Lovecraftian universe, though. And oh, shit, something's happening again. Can we not die, please? Oh, a correct answer.
Very good. The answer is the Dreaming Ones. The Dreaming Ones were, the Dreaming Ones are, the Dreaming Ones shall be. Not in the spaces we know, but between. They walk serene and primal, undimensioned and to us unseen. They can teach us deep knowledge, secrets past the skin of eternity.
Professor, you speak in riddles. Will this be on a test? Answer the Dreaming Ones. The Dreaming Ones were, the Dreaming Ones are, and the Dreaming Ones shall be. Not in the spaces we know, but between. It's kind of like butt cheeks. The space between holds, the hole that can allow you to. I'm gonna get kicked out of this class so fast. Okay, it's time to get out of here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh man, we're back in this stupid.
I'm having a hard time noticing when it's happening. Yesterday, I saw a light streaming through the kitchen window. A mote, illuminated, suspended in the air. I spent the remainder of the day in my office researching. I've been accused of isolating myself. I merely am who I am and have always been an isolate. Isolated by knowledge. Imagine discovering a dictionary of new words to describe the universe. Words that no one else could ever know. The promise of limitless knowledge to an insatiable mind. Is it any surprise I struggle with domesticity? But I had to make a choice. I'm sealing it away. I have to try.
Don't seal it.
Shane is my universe.
No, fuck Shane. Like, kids and family and other people, they come and go. Infinite knowledge? You gotta seize that shit. You grip it by the balls and you squeeze it and for all it's fucking worth. Until your mind can hold no more. This is the other textbook.
After the seizures started, she tried for a while. We were really close the summer she left her tenure. But I could tell she was restless. Wouldn't stop writing. She'd snap at the smallest things. The book sold really well, though. Popular with the pseudoscience crowd.
Those pseudoscientists. Mama's kind of looking nice. Hey, no, wait. I'm not done looking at that. I was trying to admire your mom. Hello, sexy mama. At last, the elusive... Why is it so low res? At last, the elusive Dr. Newhart addresses our burning questions about her private life thanks to Editor G. Alexander. How can the human mind access the moment between moments, the space between spaces? If we depend on the other to recognize ourselves, what of ourselves would we perceive if we met what lies beyond? These questions are not as different as they seem. To answer them, we must first relearn how to see, as I have through the universal language of mathematics. The gift is hidden within the angles. Come wander with me. Yeah, I'm getting like a little bit of a pseudoscience vibe, but it sounds more like, because it's grounded in mathematics, which means it's grounded in like science and the scientific process. It shouldn't be pseudoscience, because that's more like faith. Like, I made a discovery, I don't know how to explain it, but you have to, like, faith. You have to believe me, you have to trust me and my teachings. It just sounds more like maybe she's incapable of quite communicating the scientific part, the actual mathematics behind it. Just kind of, as she's going crazy, just goes, makes things worse. But what do I know? So week 14 is new. New patient, Shane Newhart. 7-year-old male with Wait, what? Oh, I forgot to click. Patient functioning continues to fluctuate. She is managing to find relief from auditory hallucinations by isolating herself in basement. Yeah, I remember that basement. We were stuck in there for quite a while. Symptoms waned enough to attend session today. Washed hair in basement utility sink apparently. Manages to take care of Shane during disassociative periods. C. Twice trailed off into almost nonsensical babble. Claims to have had a lot on her mind with the upcoming publication of latest book and is not concerned. Not my first patient with such challenges, but for some reason I feel out of my depth here. Probably because she's some crazy fucking genius and thinking about referring her to someone else. Increased dosage in the meantime. Shane is apparently doing well with support from his school's counselor. I'm sure he's glad to have his Thursday afternoons back. Well, yeah, what kid wouldn't? Like, I'm an adult and I still wouldn't want to lose my Thursdays because I have to go drive to the damn doctor and be like, I'm not crazy. Like, no one said you were crazy. You were just here to talk about you. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Like, let me see your diploma. I just go back in. Okay, yep. Something definitely not right here. We're in the great expanse of void. Now with floating planks that provide convenient travel from point A to point B. Into that monstrosity. And this looks like the altar or whatever we saw in the basement earlier in the game. Except it's blurrier this time. Necronomicon, show me what you got. Open. Ow.
Once you
Brightness.
open the book, it's already too late. It's always too,
Too late for my eyes because that's a lot of white light in my face.
Orochi contacted me this week. They've approached me several times. They knew about the Red Planet. Twins. They suspected a great many other things, but they kept their cards close to their chest. As did I. Shane saw inside the book. Just a glance, and it was enough. They can never know. They would do anything to pull him into their fold. And that's why, Doctor, if I found out that Orochi approached you, and you told them what I've said, you'll find out just how dedicated a mother I am. Now, were you curious about the dreaming one?
Yes. I think I'm getting the image here. So Orochi's trying to approach us to get to the mother, and Mama's getting a little protective of her offspring. Mama's also a little crazy. And I guess the Orochi group would then be interested in us because we glimpsed inside the book? Is that... Oh, fuck. Don't kill me right now. Hey, another book.
Then she was gone. I don't want to remember her like this.
I do. I'm just gonna remember her as a blabbering nutcase who's way ahead of her time. And an author. From the critically acclaimed authors of Engineering Dimensions and Wandering in Time. Spaces between the walls of sleep. It's a cosmic eyeball. Sexy Mama's still kind of not looking pretty good. Oh, it's on clearance for $2.98. Oof, that must have not sold very well. You can see a sticker on top of another sticker, so this thing's been marked down multiple times. She's on a decline. What lies on the other side of dreams? What do thoughts and space meet? Where? Beyond interdimensional theory, beyond the communal subconsciousness, beyond the blurry pixels of this texture, beyond the fabled roads of Argotha, acclaimed mathematician and Dr. Cynthia Newhart takes the reader to a place where quantum science and myth intersect. With painstaking research spaces between the walls of sleep make the impossible not only possible, but within reach. Now, available for $2.98. But it was $9.99 previously. This book, I could barely read it. This book is an absolute game changer, whatever. Yeah, if it's on clearance, I'm just saying her author career is on the decline. Let's see what this has in week 31, so quite a bit forward. It has been some weeks since I transferred Cynthia's care to a more experienced clinician. I can't stop thinking about our final session, even though my notes are sparse and the details hazy. Ever since, there has been a gnawing at the back of my consciousness, a deep anxiety I can't shake. I find myself jolting awake after mere minutes, or failing to sleep entirely. I know something is watching me. I see it flickering in my periphery. It slithers in the split between seconds. It thinks I don't see, but if I take the dreams for myself, it will tell them. I will have to suspend my practice until I figure out what it wants. The madness is contagious. Take that, doctor. Do I just... Oh yeah.